Hello everyone, welcome back to another bullet journal plan with me video. This time around we're setting up my August theme, so let's get started. So my August theme is koi fish, and for the cover page I drew two large koi fish in a circle while writing August in between them. I wrote August in calligraphy, and then after erasing the pencil sketch around the word, I also erased the koi fish sketch just a little bit, and I didn't erase it completely. I made sure you could still faintly see the koi fish. And I like to lightly erase sketches before going over them in pen because the pencil doesn't show through the ink and markers afterwards. Anyway, I drew the outline of the fish before adding some flowy shapes inside it to represent the spots. Some of the shapes were large and then others were long and thin, and they connected to the sides of the fish. I also drew a few small circles in the empty spaces. When I was drawing the outline of the spots, I made sure to leave a few big empty sections to draw some orange spots, just to give it a pop of color, but most of the spots were still black. And I also drew 4 fins on the fish, 2 on each side, by adding these loose, flowy oval shapes. And I didn't color in the entire fin, I mostly just drew these black lines on the sides and then added some orange lines around the black. For the tail, I added some black lines at the sides, and then I drew an orange streak right in the middle of it. I also added an antenna on the fish's head, and I drew a few bubbles around it, and I drew another fish on top, and after that, the cover page was done. On the page next to it, I did a quote page with the quote, "Follow your dreams, they know the way," with some parts being in cursive and then the others being in print. And I just wanted a simple, reassuring quote this month since school is going to be starting soon, which is going to be very stressful and a little hectic. And then I also drew a long koi fish at the side of the quote with its head on the bottom as its body curved upwards towards the left. Moving on to my monthly calendar spread this month, I went for a larger calendar, and I think each box itself is 6x5 dot grid spaces, and I just went for a simple basic grid shape, nothing too fancy with the headers or fonts or anything, and I mostly just added a black highlight at the top, and I wrote the days of the week on top with a white gel pen, and I also added an orange highlight on the top of each row to add the numbers. Calendar, I wrote out August, and then since I had a lot of empty space around the calendar, I drew a lot of koi fish to sort of fill up the page. And then I drew the koi fish in all sorts of positions, so some of them were straight, some of them were curved, and then some of them were overlapping each other. And then I had the idea of cutting the page around the koi fish, so I cut along the fins, tails, and bodies of the other koi fish. And this part was a little tricky, but I thought it made the calendar page a bit different and unique. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this month's calendar page. Next up we have my trackers. I'm starting out with my habit tracker, and as usual, I'm doing my individual trackers. And I drew an orange line to write out the habit, and then I wrote a mini calendar using each line to write my habit. It was a really simple layout, but I also added 2 koi fish on the title. Next we have my mood tracker, and for this month I tried something different than normal. Instead of tracking my mood for each individual day, I tried a weekly concept. So I basically drew 5 big koi fish to roughly represent the 5 weeks in August, and then I'll fill out the koi fish depending on my overall mood for the week. For example, if most of my days in a week were good, I would color most of the koi fish orange since it represents a good mood. And if I have a really bad week, I'll color in most of the fish black. I know it's a little confusing, but I thought it would be nice to give it a try. Finally, we've made it to my weekly spread, the first weekly spread of August, and I also did a layout that I haven't done in a while, which is a vertical layout. So I sketched out a koi fish in the middle of both pages, and then I divided both pages into forts with each section representing a different day of the week. And then the 8th section was like a little notes section. So I wrote the day of the week as long as the date at the top left corner, and I really like this layout because it was really simple and easy to draw, and it also only took me about 10 minutes to draw, but it also lets you have a lot of planning space. Anyways, I outlined the koi fish in the center, and then I colored in its spots, fins, and tails, and then after that, this weekly spread was done. Okay, so here's the final flip through of my August 2021 koi fish bullet journal setup. I love how this setup turned out, and it was really fun doodling the koi fish, so I'm excited about making more spreads. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.